Hi everybody and welcome back to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is all about zeroing out your TrackMan numbers. Now, I quite often hear people kind of searching for, perfect numbers and zeros. And I'm a TrackMan master golf coach and I love using TrackMan in my coaching. I use it all the time. I use it very much as evidence to see how things we work on influence things, and also sometimes to show golfers what they feel and what they're actually doing can be different. And I also use the video and ball flight as the whole evidence package. But today's video is really all about, is searching for zero numbers the ideal thing to do? And I kind of have two schools of thought on this. What I try and do with a lot of my good players is I try and get them as close as I can to zero numbers, and then I make them shot shape every shot after that. Now, the danger is if you get your numbers to zero and you don't shot shape, it only takes a tiny bit of change in the club face position for the ball to be moving away from target. So, for example, and in detail what I mean by that is, if we get your club path very close to zero, the chances of maintaining a zero position club face is small. So the club face is always going to be varying, either 1 degree closed, 1 degree open, or 2 degrees, or what have you. So that means the ball will always be moving away from target. But the problem is it's moving probably in more than one direction. As in, one shot it might go to the right, one shot it might go to the left. So therefore we have a two-way miss. So the best golfers in the world like to work towards a one-way miss. And again, I have done a video on that there's no such thing as a one-way miss, because it is really impossible to create a one-way miss. But what we try and do is, when we get your TrackMan numbers very neutral, by fading and drawing shots to order, we try and make ourselves play to one side of the golf course more than the other. Even if we don't pull that exact shot off, for example, if I'm trying to play a fade and I hit a pull, I'm still going to be in what I call my go zone area of the golf course, which is a good place to be. Now, if you try and hit dead straight shots and try and zero out your numbers, the ball nearly always will be moving away from target, because we only hit that perfect shot 3 to 5 times per round, and that's the best golfers in the world. So therefore, the argument might be, are you better off having a little stock draw, a little stock fade, rather than being completely zero? And possibly I would say that's the way to go, unless you shot shape. So if we can get yourself to the zero numbers and then we shot shape purposely every single time, that for me is a great way of trying to avoid parts of the golf course, and the best way to play golf. And it's certainly the way most elite coaches that I know would want players to play. So let's try and feel we can get what your normal is. What's your normal? If you've got a stock flight all the time, we can either play with that, or we can work then towards making your golf swing as neutral as we possibly can, but then make sure you take on board that you have to then play precisely a shot shape for every single shot. So for example, if we had a golf course where the flag was tucked on the right hand side of the green, then the way to play it from my point of view, if you have a very neutral golf swing, will be to aim at the left half of the green and try and fade the ball into that flag. And know exactly how far you hit your fades as well. That'll be part of the matrix of what you need to do. Now, if we don't pull that shot off perfectly, we might well hit a pull, and it might be on the left corner of the green or just left of the green, and we'd have a lot of green to work with for our chip and putt. If we faded it, we'd end up with a very short distance to the hole. Proximity to the hole would be good, and we'd have a good chance of making a birdie. Now, the likelihood of us really kind of double crossing ourselves and hitting it way to the right would be small. Okay? So whereas if I was very neutral with my numbers and tried to just hit it straight at the flag, the chance of missing it just right would be much higher. The chance of missing it left would be also fairly high, which is again a nice place to be, because we've got plenty of green to work with. But what I see with a lot of golfers is they'll miss it just right, end up with a short-sided chip shot, don't hit that chip shot close enough. They might hit a good chip, say, to 6 to 8 feet, and then the hole percentage from 6 to 8 feet isn't high enough that they're going to do it all the time, so they make a silly bogey. And what they do then, they come off the end of their round saying, well, I actually played quite well, and they've shot a number of shots over par, especially when we're talking the low golfers here. And they don't really know where their rounds have disappeared from, and it's just purely because of that. They've gone at too many flags with a very neutral kind of pattern of numbers and just missed the target and end up getting themselves stuck in little areas where they can't get up and down so easily. So, neutral numbers are good if you shot shape. So in order to shot shape correctly, what I'd want you to do is aim everything left of the target if we're going to hit fade. Open the club face a fraction, a couple of degrees. Take our grip then as normal, so it's now further left on the handle for a right-handed golfer, in a weak position in relation to the club head, but neutral position in relation to our body, and then put our normal standard golf swing on the ball. So, just like that, and then put my normal, neutral golf swing on the ball. And the ball from there should start left of the target and just drift to the right back towards target. Give me that little fade shot, give myself in that go zone. And again, we aren't robots, we're not going to perform the shot perfectly every time, but we're hopefully going to take out a lot of the trouble and hit the ball in the area we want the ball to go to, and we won't leave ourselves short-sided as much. So in a nutshell, zero numbers of Trackman are very, very good as long as you then shot shape. If you don't like shot shape in every shot, don't try and get zero on your numbers. Let's try and get a pattern of shot that's fairly standard, which has some movement on it and predictability. We all hit bad shots. We're always going to hit shots off target, no matter how good we are or who we are or how bad we are. You're always going to do that. But the more we can know what the ball's doing and play the ball with intention, the more then we can not short-side ourselves as much and give ourselves more opportunities to make birdies and get up and down when we miss greens. Hopefully that makes sense. If you've enjoyed the video, please click like down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I've got regular content coming every single week. And put any comments in the box down below. And thanks for watching.